The promise of a Christmas reunion vanished like smoke, blown away by the first thunder of artillery on the banks of the Marne. The lightning war that generals had dreamed of never came. Instead, on the Western Front, the war sank, both literally and metaphorically, into the mud. From the English Channel to the Swiss border, both sides dug in, carving a grotesque scar across the face of Europe, a vast, tangled network of trenches. This was the war's main stage, a world of knee-deep mud, rats, disease, and the stench of death. The romance of battle was dead, replaced by a brutal reality, endurance and attrition. Day after day, life became a grim, monotonous cycle of survival. Artillery barrages ripped the sky apart, turning the ground into a cratered wasteland that looked more like the moon than Earth. Then the whistle blew. Thousands climbed over the top, charging into the no-man's land, that deadly space between trenches, only to be cut down by the invisible scythes of machine gun fire. These were hopeless assaults where bravery meant nothing against the raw power of industrial warfare. Names like Verdun and the Somme stopped being places. They became symbols of slaughter. Verdun stood for senseless stubbornness. The Somme was a wound in the British soul that would never heal. Hundreds of thousands died for mere yards of earth. It was no longer about victory. It was about surviving the next day. But the war didn't stop in France and Belgium. It spread like a hydra, its tentacles reaching across the globe. On the Eastern Front, the frozen fields of Russia and Poland saw more fluid movement. But the bloodshed was just as severe. The Russian Empire bled slowly, drained by wave after wave of combat. At Gallipoli, brave soldiers from Australia and New Zealand, the Anzacs, fell in a desperate campaign to open a supply route to Russia. Their blood soaked the beaches of Turkey. At sea, steel giants prowled the oceans, while beneath the waves, German U-boats became a silent menace, ghosts of the deep that brought death without warning. With the stalemate came a new, unholy trinity of modern warfare. Poisoned by a sickly green cloud, first slithered across the trenches at Ypres, killing with agonizing pain and turning the battlefield into something out of the Book of Revelation. Tanks, lumbering steel beasts, made their debut at the Somme, promising breakthroughs, though in their early days they were clumsy and fragile. And in the skies, fragile planes that once served as scouts became instruments of combat. A new battlefield was born, where knights of the air dueled and fell in flames. The world was holding its breath, trapped in a nightmare from which no one knew how to wake.